Bulavinaka, Fiji, and a warm welcome to Speak Your Mind with me, Louise Kaunisela. I know since the last show, a lot has changed. I mean, we have now in the country reported cases of the COVID-19 coronavirus. So please do stay safe and take the precautionary measures of good personal hygiene. Now, Dateline is an Australian award-winning international documentary series with a current affairs backbone. The documentary, shown on SBS, put Fiji in the spotlight. Now, this is on how our nation has become a victim of Australia's demand for drugs. My guest today to tell us more is the founder and managing director of the Volatabu Group Trust, Drug Free World Fiji. But please note, this is a telephone interview because in light of COVID-19 coronavirus, this is how we're going to be doing our talkback shows now. So a warm welcome to you, Kalesi Volatabu, to the show.
Yes, Louise, and all you listeners out there, thank you once again.
Well, it's really good to have you. Now, for the benefit of our listener, Kalesi, can you tell us how this documentary was made and how Drug Free World was involved with it?
Okay, thank you. How was Drug Free World involved? Last year in July, we were actually contacted by SBS, the reporter, the producer as well. So we were in talks because they were seeing what was happening here in Fiji, the campaign, what we were literally doing on the ground and on media as well. So they wanted to come and see there was a story to be made. So hence they came in January. In February.
Okay.
That's when they actually came into the country and everything else. And what they did was they went out to different areas and really did a investigative reporting film on what the drug epidemic looks like here in Fiji. So their first point of call was obviously they went all the way to, and I'm not quite sure whoever is listening out there who has actually seen the documentary, but when you first see the documentary, the first 2 seconds of it was actually filmed in Moala, Lau.
Okay.
In one of the outer islands, yes, because that's where the bricks of cocaine was actually washed ashore.
All right.
And it was found by the villagers, and it was the children, literally, that found these bricks, and they looked at the packaging. It had a cow or, like a buffalo on it, so they thought it was milk. They just assumed it was milk. So they opened it and went to taste it, which is so dangerous in regards. Luckily, there was another young girl that came through and stopped, them from actually, and then took it to the elders to actually look at. So they went in there to interview the villagers and everything else. And out of that, they actually interviewed customs as well, police, Fiji police. At the same time, even getting, and the thing is, we need to acknowledge the Fiji customs, the Fiji police, for days and weeks and months at a time, they're away from their families, their wives and children, just to protect Fiji, just to protect our way of life here in Fiji because of, the drugs were coming through.
Yeah. And
at the same time, with the, both of them, they do, timeless efforts out there. And when you look at it, how many we're talking about here, we're not just talking about a few kilos here and there. No, we're talking about $1 million trade that has come through Fiji.
Right. Okay, so I mean, imagine this is happening in the islands because obviously those packages got washed up ashore. And I mean, you said that the children actually tasted it, and that could have been really dangerous.
Yes, they didn't actually taste it, so they were just about, but because
about to,
about to taste it.
Well, thank goodness,
stopped.
Oh.
Yes. And luckily, there was another child there that actually stopped the younger ones from actually tasting this. The thing is, this is dangerous in itself. We were placing our children in literally dangerous and vulnerable positions.
Okay, so these packages, were they, well, obviously not all found, were they?
No. So that was the thing. So that wasn't the designated area and everything. There were a few other packages, a few months later, they were found in Nassau, in Tonga. So there was a whole, and we're talking few, like 40 or 50 kilos. I think there was about 30-something kilos in Nassau.
Yeah.
And there's a few others in Tonga as well. So we're talking a few $1 million is actually just, floating around the South Pacific.
Right.
Fiji is so crucial where it sits because we have got all this water surrounding us that belongs to Fiji waters, and we only have one boat that actually police it. We got that. So the thing is, this is, this we can never stop it. We need the help of the international, countries and everything else.
So
But
you're
at the end
saying
of
that
the
we
day,
need more policing, more boats and stuff to make sure that it's, that they're not using our country as a transit going through our waters and all that?
yes, it's not just law enforcement though. We need the people. We need the
Okay.
eyes on the ground. Because when you're, a local, when you're in the village, you see a boat that you don't recognize. It's like, why is that there? Is that supposed to be there? No, that's weird. So it's a question we need to ask ourselves. Okay, who do they contact? So literally, the police can only do border security can only do so much. They need the help of the people.
True.
The
So,
people have to be the eyes,
yeah.
the ears on the ground.
So that's basically it. Seeing a boat harbored out at sea and not knowing who they are.
That's right.
Because normally you have that, the way Fijians are, just see the boat and, they don't worry about it. Okay, probably some yachties,
Yes.
so they probably never ever thought that, there'd be drug lords coming through.
That's it. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. That's exactly it. For far
Okay.
too long, we've just idly just stand back and just be the casual or even, the bystanders. And we just said, oh, okay, that's another day, just another boat. That's a pretty one. But it's like, no. If
Okay.
you really care for your children, you care for your family, your community, your village, wherever you are, you need to pick up the phone and contact authorities.
Okay. So police, obviously, or
Yes,
Navy, something like that, eh?
that's right.
Oh,
That's right. So,
okay, so we'll touch on the documentary again. Now you've spoken about what they've shown. Can you explain more? What else did you have? I believe police officers,
yeah,
even you had law enforcement officials,
that's
even
right.
drug dealers that
Yes,
were being interviewed. So maybe you
that's
might like to
right.
tell us more on what was shown on this documentary.
So with him, the drug dealer, he actually spoke about his. He actually told one of his cases who he sold to, and his market was tourist.
Okay.
And it's not just tourists. It's everyone all across the board. And obviously, the tourists they want the cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was telling the story that he had one person that actually wanted to buy a kilo off him. So obviously, this person, being a tourist, he
Mm-hmm.
was able to get it across to Australia. And then obviously the dealer was asked by the reporter, Evan,
Mm-hmm.
what did he do? Was it, good stuff? And the dealer said, yes, it was, because he came back for more. So that was,
Oh.
yes.
Okay, so look, we'll come back to that, Kalesi, on Speak Your Mind. This is Gold FM, only the classic hits, your only classic hit station in the country. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. I'm Louise Kaunisela. It's good to have your company, and I hope that you're enjoying the program. From now on, as a precautionary measure for the COVID-19 coronavirus, we are now conducting our interviews by phone, and we have my guest on the line. Yes, Kalesi Volatabu, who is the managing director of the Volatabu Group Trust Drug Free World Fiji. Yes, so Kalesi, about the story of the drug dealer,
Yes.
giving it to the tourists, selling it obviously, and you can continue from there, Kalesi?
Yes, yes, I can. So obviously this tourist actually, came back for more. And for him, that's his lucrative market, is the tourists. Because he says, they're the big players that actually come in and buy a kilo or 2 kilos here and there, and they
Hmm.
just take it back.
So
Back and
big
forth.
cash.
Yes, big cash this is. And for him, to the locals, he said, the question was, do you sell to the kids? And he said, you know what? Anybody that needs it. And he was like, the thing that was so scary in the sense that he was asked by the reporter, don't you, have any thoughts? And he said, you know what, I've got to have, I do, but you know what, I need money. I do this for the money. So he didn't care. He
Yeah.
literally had no sense of the word of, the person who he's damaging, whether it be a child or, an adult or whoever the case may be. For him, it's all about the cash.
Yeah, see, there you go. I mean, he didn't care, like you said. And, well, I mean, he'll just, I would say they been selfish, do you think?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
very much. And that's the thing, though. You don't really know. And he even showed the bags, the bag that he sell in the ice. How much is it on the street? He's,
Oh,
yes, he says it just varies who he sells it to. Off the street, to any local, to whoever that, off the street and everything else, $50. But if it's,
yeah.
a tourist or, wherever they came from, so it's $150.
Right. So the price raises for a tourist.
Yes,
And
yes.
well, what's the demand like? Did he say? He's from Nandi, you said, eh? Well, from the
He
west.
was at Nandi, yes.
Okay.
And for him, it's wow, he can make 3,000 in a day.
Oh, so that's what he said. 3,000 in a
Yes.
day. Whoa, lots of
That's
money.
the thing. So if you sell a kilo of cocaine, that's big dollars.
Oh my goodness me. Okay, so he came out with it. I mean, so you just obviously covered his face and everything
Oh,
on the
yes,
documentary.
yes.
And where does he get his supply from?
Well, that's the thing. He won't tell us.
Oh,
So
well, obviously,
obviously,
yeah.
yes.
Okay. So, but he's got plenty, doesn't he? He has
Yeah.
plenty. Yeah, because to be selling all that amount, like you said, for tourists, he said the big guns, he gives them a kg worth.
Yes.
Oh my goodness
He
me.
flew over to, obviously, Australia. That's how he got it through. And then he comes back for more. And the question is going to be, how long has this been happening? How have we not picked this up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you also spoke to social workers on the front line as well. So
No,
what did that person have to say?
no. So the social worker we did, which wasn't filmed or televised anyway, so we
Mm-hmm.
had the chance to go into St. Charles and actually do that. But
Mm-hmm.
obviously we didn't get to televise that, but the other person we actually spoke to we went out on the street, so the sex workers.
Oh yeah, right. Sex
Yes.
workers. So what information did they share? I mean, everything must be just right out in front. I mean, the reality of what's going on, shot by this Dateline Australian award-winning international documentary.
Yes.
Must be really
Yes.
good.
It was. It really was. So the sex worker. So we had Elaine. Elaine was a sex worker who had the courage, brave enough to share his story
Okay.
to everyone what it's like to be a sex worker. But it was more importantly with, how bad drug has been within the community itself.
Okay.
We followed Elaine getting ready, and then he took us to one of those hot spots, and then obviously the laneway. While we were filming, and everything else, we found a bag on the ground, the ice. He
Oh.
just went into, sorry?
I said, my goodness me, you found a bag of ice on the ground while you were doing
There
the
was,
filming?
yes, it was already used, obviously. So
Oh, okay, the
there was no,
empty
yeah,
little
you wouldn't
sachet.
have, sorry, you wouldn't find one of those bags laying
It's
on
too
the ground.
expensive
So
to
it'll be
start with.
quicker.
Oh dear. Yeah, so you found
Yeah.
the bag, that had it
That's yeah.
inside.
So
Yeah.
he was just explaining, this is where one of the hotspots where people actually shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And he just went into details about how people actually shoot these days. And, if they don't have water, it's like on the rocks. On the rocks is literally just using your blood off the ice, which is quite scary.
Mm-hmm.
But then obviously we went downtown Suva, met another sex worker, and
Mm-hmm.
they just shared their story about how bad drug is here in Fiji and how easily accessible and easy for them to actually, to get their hands on this.
Right.
And at night, because of the work that we do at Drug Free World of Fiji, we do outreach once a month to towns, whether it be in Suva, whether it be in Nausori, it's the local nights, like night spots and
Right.
nightclubs and everything. So we do our work, literally we go out into the hospital to give out booklets, the
Mm-hmm.
truth about drugs booklets, and obviously with the sex workers, the other thing was the condoms.
Mm-hmm.
So we were handing them out as well. So
Mm-hmm.
they filmed us, talking to some of the sex workers as well, and just to hear what it's been like for them in pertaining to drugs in itself. Not so much what they're actually doing on the street, no, what drugs they're using, how much it's costing them, how, how old they were, how long when did they first start. That was, for me, I think personally, my heart broke because I met a 19-year-old girl. She was beautiful.
Mm.
And to me, it was just, I just wanted to hug her and take her home
True.
in the sense that, why, what happened to you that you have to resort to this and,
Yeah.
to be on the streets in the middle of the night, how dangerous you are putting yourself in
True.
because you just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you could even get murdered, and I mean, they're so vulnerable.
Yes.
Hmm. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
very much so.
So you compare all the places, right? So
Yes.
you said Suva, now sorry. I mean, drugs are everywhere. Well, almost
Yes.
everywhere. So, what would be your judgment? Where would be the place where you could just get drugs so easily and fast?
Wow. The thing is, you look at the media, even in the schools and everything else, you're finding cases of drugs being found in the schools, wherever they may be, in communities as well. And the thing is, you know what? Before we can even talk about anything else, whether it be marijuana, cocaine, or meth,
Mm-hmm.
alcohol by far is a legal drug. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and how accessible it is with everyone. So
Yeah.
at least 1 in 3 or 1 in 2 had some kind of experience with alcohol.
Yes.
Now, then when you look at alcohol, before you even look at marijuana, you've got the sniffing, the inhalant
Yeah.
in
Glue.
itself. We take that for granted. The thing is, when you're inhaling this toxic material, it's actually suffocating your lungs from oxygen and everything else. So your lung is going to fail.
I mean,
Years and
just
years of
imagine,
that.
yes, your lung is going to fail, and
Yeah,
then we have the COVID-19 coronavirus
yeah,
that even
exactly.
attacks your lungs. But we'll get back to that shortly on
Yes.
Speak Your Mind, Gold FM, only the classic hits. This is Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. Good to have your company. I'm Louise, and my guest is, of course, from Drug Free World Fiji, the founder and managing director of the Volatabu Trust, and that's Kalesi Volatabu. Now, Kalesi, one thing that's not being discussed is the impact of this pandemic on those who struggle with drug addiction. The virus, COVID-19, is so new and we know so little about it that there's no data on this relationship or its potential. Now, will the potential for people addicted to drugs to contract the COVID-19 coronavirus likely higher than those who don't?
Very much so. They are so much at risk because the thing is, at the end of the day, when you're actually using drugs, you are literally, your immune system is the one thing that actually attacks first. So when you're, whatever drugs it may be, whether it be, you're sniffing glue, whether you're smoking marijuana, drinking alcohol, or cocaine, or even meth, your immune system is down anyway. Now this plague comes in, this comes in like we've before, and the first thing it attacks and everything else is literally your lungs. Now the thing is that with those intravenous uses is even more bad because obviously it's you're injecting this straight into your bloodstream. So if we move back and actually look at when you look at the short term or long term effect for inhalants, if we look at that, so that is death by suffocation can occur by replacing oxygen in the lungs.
Right.
Yes, so your immune system is down literally for that, and obviously marijuana is the other one. It suppresses your immune system. Cocaine causes heart, kidney, brain, and lung damages. Then you look at meth. Meth is literally the same, liver, kidney, and lung damage. So your breathing problems if smoked. So literally, and then obviously the other one is alcohol, breathing difficulties. Now, if we look back of what cases have done globally with this virus when it's come through, obviously this virus attacks your lung, your breathing, and everything else. That's anybody, anyone from old to young. You can be a fitness fanatic, and this thing, when it attacks you, it attacks your lungs straight away. Now, imagine if you're a drug addict, whatever drug it may be, maybe, alcohol is your thing, or whatever drug it is your thing, or even smokers, you are actually causing problems to your lung capacity.
Yeah, so if you get it, then you won't have much immunity to the COVID-19
Nothing.
coronavirus.
Nothing at all. So no, we're talking about addicts. They go out and they get their dealers. The dealers sell them the fix and everything else, whether it be weed or whether it be in a bag, whether it be white powder, whatever, glass, whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know who's touched that paper, whoever it is that you're giving it to.
I
So
know.
for you, because you're so driven for the drug, you don't care where
Right.
it comes from because you just wanted that fix. You just want that fix.
Mm.
So you take it home. Exchange of money even. The thing is, you don't even think of washing your hands or anything else.
Mm.
So you take it home and everything else. And you might say, with your drug, you're not affecting anyone else. I'm sorry. Those people that you're getting your drugs from, you don't even know where they're coming from.
Yeah.
How good, how clean are they, or how clear are they? And you're bringing that back home to your family.
That's a very good
Yes.
point. Yes,
It
indeed.
is. You're bringing it to your family. We are communal families here in Fiji. It's not just husband and wife at home. No, we've got our grandparents at home.
Mm.
We have our uncles and aunties, all our grandchildren, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
You are a time bomb. You're literally bringing that drug, whatever it is, that virus,
Yeah.
into the home. And then we talk about isolation. How to isolate yourself. Man, I know drug addicts really well. Isolation does not actually, when they want the drug, they don't understand what isolation is.
Okay.
They're desperate. They will go out of their way to get their drugs. They'll
Man.
gather, they take drugs, bring it back in at home. And the thing is, it's like, man, you don't even know who they cross everything else. It's not just the person that you have to deal with. It's the whole family in the home. So my plea is to family members, you need to actually look at each other, look out for each other and everything else. If you know someone is actually, struggling or doing this, you need to call someone. You need to call someone because at the end of the day, your life is too precious than this drug your loved one is going to get from the street at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It isn't sad. Just look at the cases that we've got, the 3 confirmed cases. The first one, this young man, he worked and he came home, and then now he's gone to his mother and the nephew. That's how easy this thing spreads.
Yeah, it's so
And
infectious. It's
yeah,
pretty scary. Sometimes you think, oh my goodness me, you get a bit paranoid about touching stuff, but then,
yeah,
sometimes you think, man, can I really avoid it? But all you can do best is just keep washing your hands. But just relating the drug story to the
yeah.
spread of COVID-19 coronavirus, it's really scary.
Very scary. And the thing is, for us, we're so communal in the sense that we like to hug when we see our family member, to
Mm,
kiss and everything else.
I
Now
know.
we've got to refrain from that.
Yeah, we
We
can't.
literally have to refrain from that. Now, it's even worse, literally, when, the thing is, at the end of the day, if you have got someone that's got this drug habit and everything, their immune system are down, literally. It is. They don't have a immune system to actually fight. They don't have any good cells anymore, any good cells to actually fight any toxins or any disease they're going to get. That's already failed. Now you get this plague, and it's just a wipeout.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a wipeout. So, like you said, it's coming from strange places, the drugs. You don't know who's touching the
No,
packages. You don't see any faces. You don't know.
no,
So,
that's
that
right.
person could, for all you know, have the COVID-19 coronavirus.
That's it.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be just, I just don't know what to say. But for obviously now, a lot of things has changed for you as, running drug-free world, Fiji,
Yes,
that you'll have to be moving your awareness programs to suit this pandemic.
yes, 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 we do. So right now we have literally online. We've got online courses. So the thing is, at the end of the day, people can actually still. So obviously, we utilize social media a lot in the sense that just sharing information on there about drugs and what's the effects of them and everything. And the thing is, at the end of the day, it's even more crucial for people to actually look at the short term and the long term effect of these drugs.
Yes.
Because the thing is, at the end of the day, one way or another, these diseases are going to come.
Yeah.
Whatever this plague is already here in Fiji. Now, how do we prepare ourselves
Yeah,
now?
how do we prepare ourselves to at least
Yeah.
contain it? Because we don't want to end up like
No.
Italy and even USA and all these top 10 countries that actually are really dealing it with it hard. But hey, we'll be back soon on Speak Your Mind, Gold FM, only the classic hits. Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. Thank you for your good company. And we are having the interview through the phone line because of the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. And as we were saying, Kalesi, that Drug-Free World Fiji will now have a different stance on drug awareness because of the COVID-19, right?
Yes, we are. So obviously on our Facebook page, Drug Free World Fiji, we have what you call that online education courses that you can do, which is it's free. There's a link on there. You just click on there and actually go through all the different drugs that's on there, all the different materials and everything else. It's like a course.
Yeah.
And each one, there's 20 question courses, and at the end of it, it's a certificate, each one that you do.
Oh.
Yes, I know. It's quite exciting. And I've been getting a lot of reviews and people, sending feedback through that, they quite enjoy it. It's quite informative and they enjoy the, each of the question, how it actually, have open their, overview in everything, all the different drugs, because they might just have heard of it but don't know what it is. So when you actually do things online, and that's, what, at the end of the day, we're actually moving into the new world of everything just going online now.
Yeah. I mean, even with this pandemic, a lot of people just using Skype and, just getting in touch through social media, which is a good thing. So it doesn't really cut us off from, the outside world.
No, that's right. And even the radio, what we're doing right now.
Yes, exactly. And the radio is perfect as well. But obviously, you can't be sitting in here with me now, Kalesi. So I'm just imagining you right now. Yeah. And anyway, I mean, it's really good that we talk about this because we haven't really touched on how drugs and, of course, the pandemic, which is the COVID-19 coronavirus, will be actually really devastating if drug users are not careful. And as you said that, they don't really care. They just want that fix.
That's right. They do. And the thing is, at the end of the day, I didn't actually raise it or explain it when I was talking about the SBS documentary.
Right.
One of the critical things that was raised during the whole thing was how sophisticated these drugs actually come through the waterways because it's so vast.
All right. So could you give us some examples of how they're coming through the waterway?
So obviously they come through with, those yachts, luxury yachts, even a fishing boat. That's how they've literally been coming through.
Okay.
Now the thing is, with this virus that we've got in this country right now, how do we actually contain our people? How do we contain our outer islands so, the virus doesn't get to the outer islands literally because they're isolated and they're very vulnerable.
Yeah, that's such a good point because I was thinking that too, that even some islands, I reckon they should not allow visitors in for the time being, until we know that everything is steady because we're still after looking for more confirmed cases. God willing, we hope not. Yeah, so like you said, the outer islands, we must keep them safe. So what do you suggest?
We do. So the thing is, at the end of the day, you know what, the Troni Koro, all the elders and everyone, literally from the elders all the way down to the children, it's literally they have to take control of their little islands or, their villages and everything else. And they need to actually, bosses, they have to have a meeting and to work out, this is what we plan to do. And you literally have to. If someone new comes in, they don't have the health system or the health facilities to actually protect those people.
Right.
Find out where are these people coming from. And obviously, you know what, this is desperate times in Fiji right now. People are going to do stupid things.
Yeah.
They literally are going to go against, even at the moment we've got a lot of talk of the containment that's happening there. People somehow, yesterday we just heard from the Prime Minister saying, the Vice Chancellor was able to come from Lotaka on the plane to Australia.
That's just ridiculous. I mean, can't they just follow rules?
Exactly. That's the thing. People need to follow, but at the same time, you as individuals, as citizens of Fiji, you need to be aware. If you know somebody is actually not supposed to be there or is having symptoms or whatnot, call help. Just call help because at the end of the day, it's your life literally is at risk here.
Yeah, we need to protect each other. It's not about yourself. It's about everyone, you and me. And
that's right.
Just hoping that it doesn't, we don't have so many cases and it gets out of control. But I'm really happy with what the Fijian government has been doing so far. I think they've been really quick to, close everything, the nightclubs, and also get the people of Lautoka to be in containment for just a little while. We just need to get this under control.
That's it. That's it. And like we're so resilient here in Fiji. We can fight this virus. That's the thing. But everybody just needs to play their part.
Yeah, that's a perfect word. That's a perfect word that you used. Resilience.
Yes.
Because that's what kicks in when you go through stressful times like we're going through now. I mean, we never believed that Fiji would be experiencing something like this. We were watching from the outside, and now it's here.
Yes. We were so naive. We were in a bubble saying, it's not going to happen to us. It's actually here. Okay, what do we do now? We just kick in. Yes. And the thing is, you know what we forget? It's like Fijians are known to be the world-class warriors. We're the Mbati. So this is it. We need to fight right now, and this is the fight of your life here at home. So if you know, this is not supposed to be there, trust your instinct that at the end of the day, if there's somebody knows they're not supposed to be there or they should be taken to the hospital or whatnot, call the number. And the thing is, you're distancing. How literally to stop yourself? The thing is, this virus, they last for hours to days at a time, these bacteria, before they even die.
Yeah, no.
So it's so easy to pass, from the handrails to the surfaces, the tables, even cloth.
Oh, it's freaky.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I saw some videos of it. My son was actually showing me the video. And I mean, that's why so many people have it, because of the fact that it's so contagious.
Yes.
I mean, it's like just like the flu. That's how we get the flu as well, with the virus. But this one is obviously, a more serious one because it escalates into pneumonia very quickly.
That's right. It does. It really does.
Yeah.
And for us, it's all about just looking out for each other. As soon as you see someone that's actually a little bit under the weather or they're not washing their hands, tell them. Or even just get them to the sink, wash your hands.
Yeah, that's so true.
And the thing, you know what? I remember, Louise, growing up here, through primary school back in the 80s, early 80s, that was part of what you do in school. You wash your hands before you eat everything.
Yes, I mean, after you use the toilet and, just keep washing your hands.
That's it. Everything was wash your hands, wash your hands. Somehow along the line, we forgot how to do that.
I mean, we shouldn't forget how to do that. No. I mean, even here, the spitting is awful. People have to stop spitting. You need to have a handkerchief or, a disposable tissue with you.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness me. So if everyone can do their part, then we should be good.
That's right. Everybody just has they just do their part. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Just worry about your part.
Yeah, I like the part where you say when you see someone coughing without covering their mouth, tell them straight. Or if you see them not washing their hands, tell them to wash their hands. Eh?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then make it worse. Now you've got a big job ahead of you with the drug-free world, Fiji, now adapting to the COVID-19 coronavirus. So you will probably have a lot more plans that you will have to do for awareness because, but anyway, we'll get back to that soon, Kalesi. This is Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. Thank you for your good company. Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. I do hope you're enjoying the program. As you can see, we're doing it now by telephone line, and we have my guest live on the call. This is Kalesi Volatabu. She is the founder and managing director of the Volatabu Group, and she runs Drug Free World Fiji. So, Kalesi, we have now your work going to be taking a whole new different direction now. What do you think about that?
Quite exciting. Quite excited about it, actually. To tell you the honest truth, because my phone is on all the time, right? So I get the phone calls from people just wanting to ask for advice or what can they do just to answer their question the best that they can. So literally that's where I spend my time now. It's literally on the phone or online. I get, through Facebook on messaging and everything else, people are calling all the time, what's going to happen now? What do you think would happen? What can I do to help my loved one and everything else? So it's the addict that you're dealing with, it's a family member as well. Because they've got a lot of questions and a lot of uncertainty, and especially this time right now where, the job losses, that we've had, the closure of different places and everything else for some people.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's at the end of the day, how desperate these people are going to get when they want to get their fix.
Oh, I know. That's going to create a whole
Yes.
different scenario as well there. So what do
Yes.
you think will happen?
Okay, one thing I need to suggest, whoever is listening out there,
Mm-hmm.
it's great that you can go to the supermarket, it can trolley full of stuff, of vegetables, grocery shopping and everything else. The rest of the world don't need to see that. Because at the end of the day, you're actually showing everybody else
Mm-hmm.
how much food you got in your house. You need to lock that down because you're actually putting a target on you because not everybody else can afford to have a trolley full of food.
Yeah.
That's one.
Yeah.
The
So
other
no
thing is,
panic buying. Just buy enough to last you.
that's it. Just buy enough for you at the end of the day. And the thing is, please don't show people this is what's happening because you're placing yourself in more danger than anything. 2 days ago, we had the break and answer that happened, the murder, literally, now it's gone to murder, of that 70-year-old man. They break and enter into their home, tied them up and everything. This was all over the news.
Yes.
And it's going to get to that. People are not going to break into houses to get stuff that they can sell anymore because there ain't going to be any money. They're going to break.
Yes, Kalesi. So especially with drug users, they're going to go to any length to get their fix, right?
Before the virus, they were doing that anyway. There were a lot of break and enterings that were happening.
Okay.
How we knew that? We had churches calling that saying, you know what, this one Kalakala here in Silver District, their church got broken into 3 times because people were just taking this out to get their fix. This is worse now.
Oh my goodness me! So
Yes.
you've got a
I had
big job
parents
ahead of you.
calling where their children were taking their masi, their tambua, their ngatu to the pawn shop to be sold just so they can buy their fix. This is worse now.
Man, it's just terrible. Oh my gosh! I mean, we're already in a terrible time, and then we just don't need this even to
No,
add to all the stress and the uncertainty.
that's right. Yes,
Oh,
this is
okay.
where we need each other more than anything right now. So people, if you're going to go shopping, don't put it on social media. Nobody needs to know what your cupboard looks like. We don't need to know how much food you got in there or what are you having for lunch or what are you having for dinner. Keep that to yourself because the thing is, at the end of the day, not a lot of people can afford to put food on the table right now.
Yeah, I mean, why would you want to do that?
Yes,
I'd feel guilty. I don't like posting pictures of food or what I'm eating because that's exactly what I think about. Someone might not be able to, have a nice meal like
that's
we're
right.
having. It's not very
Yes.
nice.
This, right now, I have family members who are losing their jobs from, hotels.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So they don't even know where they're going to, what their future looks like. They don't even know how long they have to stay off work. A lot from the airlines as well. So
Yeah.
those kind of people, just be mindful. If anything, just look out for each other. Get off the Facebook. If you don't have anything else to say or share with anybody that's constructive,
Mm-hmm.
get off it. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. If you don't have anything constructive to say or nice, yeah, get off it. That's exactly right. Kalesi,
Yeah.
thank you for that. I mean, it's really
That's
good.
fine. Yesterday, just personally here from home, we had this woman that just walked off the street to our home knocking, and we were shocked. We're thinking, who is this woman? She was crying, begging for food. She was crying, begging for food and money. And
Oh.
that's what, CJ, I am sorry, that's what it's going to look like right now. She went to other houses. The doors were shut for her. My heart just went out because we're going to see a lot more of that where people are seriously going to come knocking at your door to ask for food or money.
So if they do that, what should that a person do? At least give something, eh?
Yes, do something, but at the same time, please be very careful. You don't
Careful.
even know who that person can be coming to check out what else you have.
I know. There's so
Yeah,
much uncertainty. So if
very.
someone wants to get in touch with you, Kalesi, it's on Facebook, right? Under Drug Free World Fiji, is that right?
World Fiji.
Mm-hmm.
Number is 907-4068. 907-4068.
So that's your phone number if anyone wants to get in touch with you for advice or just a
That's
good
right.
Tylenol session. I mean, you're very sympathetic and you really feel for the people of Fiji, and that's what I admire about you,
Mhm.
Kalesi.
Well, it's like this is home for me. It's like this is home. And you know what? At the end of the day, I am a warrior
Yeah.
underneath everything else, and I'm going to fight just to keep it, just to save someone's life. One person.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter
that's
who it is.
yeah, man, that's so true. I mean, you save one person, that's like you saving the whole of mankind. That's how
Yes,
special it is. Yes.
that is it.
So, like looking forward now for Drug Free World Fiji. So, you won't be able to be traveling, or are you going to travel somewhere at any?
Well, that was the thing. Just, out of the SBS documentary, so many
Yeah,
requests
yeah.
and it came from all over the world, from all over the globe, even Switzerland, Washington,
Hmm.
D.C., Australia in that regards, and even had a phone call from New South Wales Corrective Services that called me directly to help with their programs. And it's like, wow, that was huge for me. And we don't even know how long these borders will be closed between both countries, whether it be Australia, Fiji, if we're going to close our borders, how long will that be? Would that be 6 months or even longer? Um, there's other things that still need to be done online. Could still have the phone counseling. Right now, I've got 2 projects working on a mobile app.
Okay.
Yes, to help with and everything else. So those are still going, behind everything else. Now, do I go back? You know what? At the end of the day, I miss my children and I miss my grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if an
Oh,
opportunity does present itself, and then I get the chance to go back to Australia, I don't want to go back because this is home for me. This
yes.
is home.
Yes. Well,
Um,
I thank you so much, Kalesi. Unfortunately, the
yeah,
Speaker Mind has come to an end, but just maybe one last message of encouragement
yeah.
from you, because yes, you really give words of encouragement. Thanks, Kalesi.
Yes, so all your listeners out there, moms and dads and everything else, if you're struggling or you just need someone to talk to, this is the time for it. If you don't have anyone else or someone that you don't even know from a bar or soap and you just want to talk to somebody that's a stranger, someone that you don't know for that matter, call me. I'm just a phone call away, 907-4068, 907-4068, or check out our Facebook page, Drug Free World Fiji. You can just message. We can just stay on that regards. But the thing is, if it's not me, there's always someone out there that, you can call. At the end of the day, call someone. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through this virus as long as we all just play our part.
Yeah,
And we've
exactly.
done it for many, many years. We are renowned for being the most resilient people on this planet, and we're a
Yes,
warrior.
Vinaka Vakalevu Kalesi, that is so true. And resilience will play a very big part looking into the future. But until next time, Kalesi, thank you so much for coming to speak your mind.
Yes, I'm going to Luis, and all you listeners out there, ni sama limanda.
Modemanda.